Hi, friends. Welcome back to Fifth Road Tarot. Just want to say thank you. Thank you for being with me today, and thank you for continued support. And if you've come across this channel um, and you're new to tarot, I just want to give a little bit of a heads up that this is not going to resonate with everyone. Um, and if it doesn't resonate, super, super okay. Because it's not meant to resonate with everyone, but I'm hoping that if it does come across and it is helpful, that that we are able to see each other again in another reading, um, either one-on-one or um, back here on the channel. So just wanted to say quick welcome and give you just a little bit of a rundown. There are so many amazing readers out on YouTube. It's beautiful to see actually. It blows my mind, like some of them that I listen to, and I'm just like it's just so beautiful to hear a lot of their messages. So um as I have been going through, I think this is probably I've been doing this a little bit over a month now. So, as I've been going through, I have been making a few changes here and there. So if you are a new person, welcome. If you have seen my videos before or my readings before, you may notice some changes as I go along and kind of just play around with the format and the cards that I use because um, I'm trying to not no longer block. And of course, that happens with a lot of people who are just really coming into their abilities and skills is learning how to loosen some of the blocks that come with some of the resistance that comes with because I am human. But I really do love this. I love tarot. I love what the cards say. And I also love being able to provide a message. So uh, take that as you will. But welcome either way. Um, just want to say really quickly, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Divine, for coming in with love and light and support for the collective reading today. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I have been dealing a little bit with a little bit of a cold. So I will be taking a few breaks, probably here and there to get a drink of water, and I will let you know what those breaks when I do that. uh, but yeah, with this reading today, it is a little bit late. Again, I've had a cold, actually bronchitis, for the last probably about 5 or 6 days. Um, but either way, it's getting a little better, and I'm just glad to be here with you. The reading today, lately I was fortunate enough to have a session with a lady that does a lot of um, shadow work therapy, and I took one of her courses earlier in 2019. It was really amazing, and she actually offered up a somatic experiencing um, session, and I took that a few weeks ago, and it was just so incredibly freeing that I just um, I feel a lot more connected and a lot more um, open, and that just makes me feel so fantastic. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm just gonna stop talking, blah 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 blah, and we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and get a reading out here. So Spirit, can you please give me some cards today? Oh, look at that. The Emperor, that's so interesting. So I've been seeing and hearing about the Emperor so much. Like and when I say seeing, seeing in other readers, but also when I did my own like 2020 overall read, the Emperor came up for me. So I'm thinking like male figures are probably going to be really, oh wow, Eight of Cups, no, Seven of Cups came out. Um, I'm thinking that father figures or a lot of people say patriarchy with this card are going to be a big deal for either this week or even the year. And Page of Wands has come out. All right, let's see. So we got 3 cards. So, all right, I talked a little bit about the Emperor. Then we've also got the Seven of Cups and the Page of Wands. So give me 1 minute. I'll go ahead and just kind of look through really quickly. Yes. So I'll go ahead and get started with the Emperor. This usually denotes maybe a father figure or a lot. Again, I try not to look at gender a lot, but because this is the Emperor, it is very masculine. So if it's not a male, it is maybe someone with a very masculine energy in your life, or someone maybe like a structure that is very what's the word? Very masculine, like a masculine structure, like maybe a work structure, or maybe you work somewhere where it's male dominated. When I say male, I mean masculine energy dominated. So, like, for example, military, government, um, hmm, maybe like big construction, or like some kind of like a global business maybe. I'm seeing that with the Seven of Cups. The first thing that comes to my mind is overachieving. Wow. Wow, it's interesting that I even see, I've never put that word with this card before. Um, I see overachieving. And when I say overachieving, this is someone who, or something, or situation where um, you're possibly doing a little bit too much and you're trying to put yourself into all these different spaces. And cups, again, cups are about emotions. Maybe you have so many different ways and directions that you want to go in that you're not quite sure which one to pick, which one to put your energy toward. But that definitely comes up as I see overachieving. I don't know why I see that. And in terms of the Emperor card with the Seven of Cups, it's almost as if someone who is overachieving in the emotional space to try and maybe balance out this masculine. Huh, interesting. Yeah, definitely cups are about emotions, and you can see in the cups there's people, there's spirit, there's a snake coming out of a cup, there's a dragon here, it looks like. A wreath, to me, that kind of denotes like status, emperor. There's jewels, there's a castle, and so someone is trying to figure out. They're not even trying to figure out. They have all these great ideas and they want to meet all of them. So it could also be someone, um, there's a business or a person or a structure that is trying to do a whole lot of things this week, and it's just too much. They need to pick one, or they need to just forget them all and go on a new path, which was essentially then be the Eight of Cups. But yeah, so let's take a look at Page of Wands. I think Page of Wands came up last week in last week's read. But Page of Wands, these are typically messages. And I still like, I'm so tied to this feeling from this card about um, there's a spiritual action behind this. But with this, in this particular reading, this to me is all about someone is someone is starting over in regards to someone is rebuilding in regards to a structure or work or what kind of work they want to do. Someone is recharging even what they're trying to do and what direction they're going into. It's very interesting. And it does look like starting over. And actually it even looks like um sorry, I know my hand is in the way a little bit there. It looks like there's with the cups here, there it's almost as if, you're either choosing one or you're going off the beaten path and you're making your own way. So this could be even about you're taking action on your own outside of this emperor energy. So this could be someone who, yes, there is a structure, and there might be even an overwhelming of options or an overwhelming of availability. And someone is just like, you know what? I think we should start over here. I think I can start off and I can go, you might even be thinking about going back to school or getting some sort of education. Um, wow. And possibly even why do I see travel in this? I'm looking at the looks like mountains, but it could also I always see this as like pyramids. So someone could be traveling possibly to North Africa. Um, let's see. Yeah, wow. That's very interesting. Interesting. Yeah, but because the emperor shows up here, this is very strongly a father figure. Again, excuse me, a masculine situation here. Wow, wow. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. See what we've got going on here. Wow. Okay. So, bottom of the deck, we've got the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is just to put you in that headspace of the person in the card, something that's keeping you up at night, something that you can't get off your mind, something that is just this person can't even get to sleep. I mean, they're sitting up and their face is in their hands. They don't even know what to do. So the Nine of Swords is about the heavy burden of thoughts that are just weighing on you so much that it's not even allowing you to sleep at night. So I'm looking at this spread and I'm thinking, maybe this person is really smart to have left a previous, excuse me, a previous situation where it was very, um, what's the word? It was very all over the place. There was no structure, even though there was a foundation, right? Um, but they were all over the place. There was no structure. So it's almost as if you're like, hey, look, I'm just going to go out on my own. And pages, yes, they're messengers, but they're also apprentices. They're also willing to try and learn something new and set off on a new path. So this is you diverging from this masculine um, disarray, right? And going into a new path, new energy. And it's interesting. Wow. Mm, okay. Yeah. Because yeah, you're over. You've been trying to figure out what to do with this situation, and it's just not working. And so your only choice here is setting out on your own, which is not easy for anyone to do. Um, and I say that as as someone who um, has become okay with the kind of embodying. I look at this and I see in this reading and in this card, I see a phoenix. I see someone rising from the ashes, and that's probably why I see pyramids there. Because you think of pyramids, you think of the desert, you think it's hot, and a phoenix is known to um, burn itself out and then be reborn from its own ashes. So I kind of see that energy in this Page of Wands action is you have um, stepped back, or not even stepped back, you stepped onto a different path and you're like, look, I don't need this. I don't need that anymore. I'm going in a new direction. So let's see what this new direction would be about. Let me see. I'm going to use my Wild Unknown Tarot. Let me get that out here. And let's clarify what path that might look like. What path you might be going down. Because again, I mean, if you think about it, all change is scary, right? Um, and it's hard, even for someone like me. Again, like I like to change things up. I like to, if I see that something that I'm doing isn't working, I'll be like, okay, time for a different path. But even lately, making those different changes has just been so hard, because it's been like one after the other, to the point where you can't even kind of focus. But that is basically, again, to say that change is hard. But here, it's almost like you're just like, okay, you didn't even, you didn't, it's almost like you didn't even think, you just like you knew, right? All right, Spirit, can I get a card to clarify this Page of Wands action? All right, excuse me. I've got the Six of Wands. Oh, wow. Again, we're still in the Wands energy. So I really like that. In Six of Wands, you can see the butterfly rising above these branches here. That's all about, again, that kind of just confirms that you're releasing yourself from, kind of a wiki. I don't know why I said wiki. A wiki situation. Wiki, whack. Sorry, that's so silly. Okay. All right. All right. So it looks like freedom and celebration. Oh, and the High Priestess card. And in tarot, the High Priestess comes before the Emperor. And this is someone who is very knowledgeable, and very, very much intuitive. And you can see, put the cards to the side here. You can see the moon. You can see this I like to say the globe, the crystal ball, right? It looks like there's a whole universe in it that this high priestess and this tiger can see. And even though it's dark all around, you can see very clearly what you're doing and why you're doing it. So I hope you're not having any qualms about making this choice, about moving forward away from this, because you will be celebrated. You will be celebrated. If you have been up at night trying to figure out, you know, what should I do? What should I do? Follow your intuition. It will not fail you, really. This change is good because you'll be getting yourself out of a sticky situation, a thorny situation. What? I said wiki. Probably because wicker. Sorry. Anyway, so you can see the butterfly here emerging from that sticky situation. You will be fine. Okay? Awesome. All right, so let's get some. I wanna get some something for you to move forward in, and I'm going to use my very, very favorite deck. I emailed I emailed Blue Angel Publishing to ask for permission to use the cards. And I actually, yeah. Then it was there. Everybody's been so nice about, just allowing. So just want to say thank you to everyone that has produced these cards. Um, yeah. So anyway, while I'm talking my head off saying thank you, I am going to read from my Rumi Oracle deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It just really, I did a reading for a friend of mine, and she said when I closed out with with the Rumi Oracle card, she said that it made her feel like she had her first real good night's sleep in a very long time. So I was so happy to hear that, and I'm just so happy to share that with you today. So I'll go ahead and pull an Oracle card for guidance for you and hopefully some loving words, because who doesn't love Rumi, right? Poetry is just amazing, and the take on love and availability is just amazing. And I actually put a card that spoke to me, was given to me actually in a dream over the summer, and I just figured out because I've been doing a review of my dream journals, and I just got I just saw it. I didn't even realize that I'd had the dream, and I never like looked back. Oh, here we go. Oh wow. So we've got Sacred Soul Sister, number 37. 7 plus 3, 3 plus 7 is 10. And that is 10 is like a perfect number. Perfect divine, right? Sacred Soul Sister. And if we look at it, if we look at these cards, right? It's almost counteracting this this emperor energy and all this kind of I want to say chaos that's going on with the 7 of Cups with Sacred Soul Sister. So it's balancing out like this masculine chaos here with Sacred Soul Sister and the number 10. And with the Emperor, let's see, that's 4, 7. And I know if we add 4 and 7, we get 11, which is a master number. We also have the balancing out of this energy, right? Because it has to be balanced with this 10. I believe that firmly. So we've got 10 and 11, which is kind of backing up each other and getting a good balance there. So I'll go ahead and read from Sacred Soul Sister and see if I can prop the card up over here, and hopefully you can see it as I'm reading. Let's see, number 37. And I'll just read. Let's see, where am I? Oh, good. I'm at 22 minutes. 37. Where are you, 37? La, la, la. Okay, Sacred Soul Sister. So the Rumi poem here is: when you are conscious, a cloud of sadness surrounds you. When you are beyond consciousness, the moon rests in your arms. Right, the High Priestess? When you're conscious, the beloved moves out of your reach. Right? When you are beyond consciousness, the ecstasy of love moves your way. When you are conscious, you are depressed like fall. When you are beyond consciousness, the winter cold feels like spring. All your wavering is due to your longing to be stable. Look for instability until you become stable. Wow, okay, that's by Rumi. And this next part is an interpretation, I believe it's by Alana Fairchild, or the interpreter. I love you. I am your other self. I am with you always, your partner on this soul journey. I am the you that you do not see. I am the you that speaks through intuition and instinct. I whisper and sing and shout my crazed truth telling to you through your dreams, through your body. I am the you that is wise, that trusts in life, that knows. I am the you that sees reality rather than appearance. I am the you that knows how to be happy and free. All right, so just fair warning, this is a long reading. I'm going to go as far as I can, but I will also give you the sacred honoring ritual that comes at the end. So I'll probably read just a few bits and parts. All right, let's do this. There is a valid point of view that we travel this path of our life journey alone. Our deepest descents into the psyche happen alone. We meet death alone and come into the world alone. And yet there is a vaster perspective that we are never alone, that it would be impossible to be really alone. We are connected to all of life, and there is no such thing as being alone in reality, only in limited and temporary perception. As if such community were not enough, there is a partner, an ally, who journeys with you from birth to death and beyond again and again. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Um, that's to me like that phoenix energy, right? That birth, death, beyond again and again, right? You have a sacred sister, a sister of your soul. She weaves the stories of truth through dreams and insights that come upon you as if from nowhere. Perhaps they drop into your mind or seem to erupt from you within. But that is her talking to you, demanding or reassuring, depending on what the occasion best calls for at that moment. Her truths may seem overly dramatic, so you may discount them as workings of an overactive imagination, or perhaps her truth tales are so subtle you dismiss them as meaningless, fleeting fancy. The wise ones know, however, that the truths of the sacred soul sister are powerful, relevant, and worthy of time and attention. They know her oftentimes strange and startling offerings hold the key to unlock entire worlds, to open up new realities, and to transform the nature of our existence, from the deepest and most esoteric spiritual levels to the most palpable, practical, daily realities of our living bodies in the physical world. Your sacred sister is your partner in consciousness. Make no mistake, she is you. She is just the part of you so great you cannot always see her from your conscious mind. It is sort of like the eye of the dog trying to see its whole self, which is a bit tricky, for as it moves to see its rear, so the rear is moved along too. So rather than through direct perception, the sacred soul sister is met through reflection. She can be received in those moments of rest where great ideas are born. She is a genius, you see, vastly creative and inspired. Her worlds are those we access in sleep and meditation, or absorbing engagement in activity, where the mind can relax and drop into realities far more vast than those of daily life and be replenished. To tap into her wisdom, to distill a teaching from the fragmented memory of a dream, or a subtle feeling experienced in meditation, requires that you walk with her gait and not the fast paced, forward moving canter of your conscious and intellectual mind. Her gait is meandering and apparently unstudied, yet she is deep in concentration. To feel for truth of movement, to allow for what is emerging to express itself through her, and she is listening rather than demanding to know, to force, to speak, and to direct. So again, I'm just going to jump in really quickly. That she is counter to this energy, to this forceful overlording, right? She is counter to that. Excuse me. So, to commune with her, wise as that impulse is, requires that you learn the ways of her world and the strange symbolic language she speaks. She will never tell you what you already know, aka, she's not going to mansplain, right? um, why be so inefficient? No, she prefers to educate, elucidate, intrigue, and beguile as you are drawn into far more beautiful, powerful, and helpful truths. So, in her world and in her language, you must suspend your need to immediately understand. Let yourself absorb the imagery, the feelings, and the possibilities, to dwell, ponder, and be permeated by the wisdom. The appearance of a horse may signify your own spiritual being, and the appearance of you may signify a false sense of identity and not the real you at all. You may see desert landscapes. You may see desert landscapes and moonlit nights in your dreams. When so much inner growth is happening, you will soon bloom like the springtime. You may dream of charging up hills with great energy, when in your physical world you can barely muster enough strength to get out of bed in the morning. What does all this mean? This apparent contrary world upside down, nothing is as it seems symbolism. The meaning is the communication, and the communication is received in repose and reflection and quietness and rest. And you must trust. Trust her and trust yourself. When something needs to be known, so it shall be. This is necessary, so much less than what we expect. Your lack of knowing is not ignorance. Your unknowingness is your bowing to life with trust. So this is you trying to know everything. This is you trying to know everything. Or this is the structure that you're trying to get away from that requires you to know everything. This asks you to meditate and be still. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of the guidance and then go into the sacred honoring ritual. This oracle comes with particular guidance also. You know something deep in your bones without knowing how or why, or without particular reason. You just know. It doesn't make sense, but you know. It may be joy that you know. It may be that you know how to avoid a certain situation. It may be that something is going to work out beautifully despite appearances to the contrary at a particular moment. It may be that you are meant to take a certain path. You just know. You just know, right? This oracle comes as confirmation that your knowing, mysterious as it is your sacred soul sister talking through you. Trust it and act, or not, accordingly. All right, so I'm at 32 minutes about. The sacred honoring ritual. So if you need to come back to this at another time, just mark it, or I'll just go ahead and mark it in the comments. The sacred honoring ritual for the sacred soul sister. Kneel or sit comfortably, preferably on the ground or somewhere you feel grounded and anchored to the earth. That could be on the floor if practical. Again, don't do this if you have medical issues with your knees. I do not recommend doing this, and that is in the disclaimer. If you cannot kneel, please do not. All right? Or sit in a chair. Just sit in a chair. Okay? Rest your hands on the ground or on your legs if you're sitting. Say aloud, I call upon the sacred sister of my soul, the shadow priestess of wisdom and the temple of love. You guide me to love, and under the merciful grace and protection of Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, our relationship is one of respect, care, and divine guidance. May I be blessed with receptivity to your genius and capacity for the grace of growth. So be it. Once you have finished saying this, rest for a few moments and you have finished your ritual. Wow. Wow. I'm really happy about that reading and I hope you are too. Again, I'll go ahead and post this and wow. This is just amazing when you look at this of, diverting from this path of just trying to push through and really you can just walk off in another direction in your own knowing and be celebrated for it. And again, you've got the sacred soul sister balancing you out here and balancing this out for you. You no longer have to be worried about not sleeping at night. Forget that. You have a knowing. This is great. Okay, I'm going to end this reading here. I just want to say thank you so much again for joining me. I wish you love and light. If you are in the dark, I wish you a balancing of light and dark. But if you are in dark for a reason, and when I say dark, when I say shadow, I mean that you are maybe experiencing a dark night of the soul, or you're investigating your shadow side so that you can present yourself more authentically. When I say dark, um, just to clarify, if you are experiencing dark moments like depression or things like that, please reach out, get help. You don't have to stay in that space. Um, you don't have to stay in that space alone, and you don't have to stay in that space, period, if you don't want to. If you want to get out, reach out, ask for help. please. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love and light.